is in Switzerland, the one country on earth you can actually have more guns than we can have here by type and ability. They have a law that you cannot possess and or use porcelain bullets.
Why is that, Les? What's the thought process?
Like all gun control makes no sense. Like in France, double barrel shotguns are great. Semi-automatic shotguns are great. Pump shotguns are incredibly evil, and you average people can't have them. And in Germany, the Remington 870 is very popular. Popular gun. Don't you dare mount a flashlight to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so stupid because we have this literal case study in the United States on the most extreme of gun laws and the least extreme of gun laws, and which one of those states are succeeding. All the states that have unreal, ridiculous gun legislation are just turning into cesspools. California, New York, and any number of left-wing states. And where are they all flooding to? Texas, Florida.
And I'm sorry, but Texas is just as bad as places like Chicago, even Illinois. Well, Illinois, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. They still have gun laws where, I mean, there's some states out there that says you have to have a concealed handgun permit in order to carry a gun. You call that freedom? I call that bullshit.
I mean, it's crazy. You literally have these case studies going on here that you can visually see and measure, and yet you still have politicians in the federal level trying to oppose the same type of legislations that you have in these failures of a state across the nation.
Well, it makes perfect sense, Brent. If I'm a violent criminal, let me put my violent criminal hat on, and I'm given the choice of where to live. Am I going to go live out in the country in Texas somewhere, out in the country in Mississippi or Georgia, or am I going to head to a big city where I can get away with violent crime and steal and rob and do nothing more than maybe go to jail for the night?
See, a lot of you fake treats don't understand that you can there's actually criminals in rural areas breaking laws, breaking gun laws all the time. You say nothing about that. The only thing is you can't figure out who are the criminals in these rural areas, people who live out in the country. You can't figure them out. You can't tell who they are. You don't know their names, their social security numbers. You don't know nothing about them. That's the big problem in the criminal world when it comes to rural areas. My gosh. Some people, I tell you the truth. And that same line of, oh, what makes you think that the criminals are going to respect the gun laws? What makes you think that the politicians are going to respect your rights, your natural born rights? I mean, use some freaking common sense here. I mean, some people out there, they talk so much. They talk a big game about common sense. I mean, come on. Go by your own advice.
I'm going to highlight this one that says when they flee, they shouldn't vote. I think it should be more like an immigration, right? So if you come from California to Texas, like you have to live in Texas for 10 years before you obtain voting status.
That's exactly my idea. And you make it voluntary, though. You don't have to make it a law. You simply say, in order to come here, you have to agree to this. And I bet most of them would, because that money is more important than their rights to most of those people that are moving here from those states.
Well, and money's not important to you? The frick? This one person said, thrill, no, they will end up in Virginia. Well, that may be true, but oh my gosh. The cognitive dissonance, these people spew out so much cognitive dissonance. And you're right, NG. It's a whole nother level when it comes to cognitive dissonance. My gosh.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I actually have been thinking about that exact same thing, Brent, for a while. And it takes a while to naturalize to your neighborhood, to your new environment you're in, for you to actually be part of the group, And it doesn't make sense for someone to just pop in and be telling the guys that been living here what to do and how to do it. It just, that's why we have a naturalization process, like you're saying, for the United States in general. It makes sense that there would be a naturalization process for state to state as well.
Yeah.
So, in other words, you're making the argument, in order to do this, in order to be a United States citizen, you have to basically do other things. I mean, just when it's not enough for that person who wants to, say, a Canadian wants to come to the United States and go through the proper channels to be a legal U.S. citizen, blah, 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 and legally obtain U.S. citizenship. But you want something more. You want more. See, there's the problem right there. Naturalization. My gosh. The cognitive dissonance.
It's nuts, because you do have good Californians coming from to Texas and any one of the states like Florida and stuff. You do have good people fleeing those states to come here, but then you also have the bad ones, and it's like, what is the percentage, like good to bad, that are coming to the states? And of those bad ones that are coming here, how do they not make the correlation? Right, I'm leaving this state because of the taxes are too high, and
I can answer that one.
The schools
They're dumb as a rock.
Yeah,
They're dumb as a rock. And you can always tell them because they've got a Newsom sticker on their Prius that's covered up with a Beto sticker. They're just dumb as a rock.
Nope, you guys are all wrong there. They're that way because they can afford to be that way. That's why it doesn't economically impact them. It does, yeah. They're going to Texas from California because you guys got better tax laws. So overall, they can put in their day-to-day lives. It doesn't affect them. So
everybody praises the state of Texas as like so star-spangled banner great and free and all that kind of stuff, but it really isn't that free. It really isn't. I mean, you can move to, I don't know, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, places that has somewhat relaxed gun laws. If there's a state that has relaxed gun laws, it's probably, I would have to say, Alaska. Yeah, to a certain extent. But everyone else, like every state in this country, not so much. I mean, you got Washington, Oregon, California, Illinois, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, like I said, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, and Virginia. Got to tell you all this. I did not feel free when I pretty much asked permission to be armed when I signed a 4473 form. I did not feel free when I asked them permission when I signed and turned in that concealed handgun permit application either. I did not feel free whatsoever.
So they can afford to be that way. Why does socialism appeal to the very poor and the very rich? Because both can afford it. The very poor have nothing to lose. They only have something to gain, and the very rich can afford it. If we go take $1 billion from Jeff Bezos tomorrow, he's going to not like it. But is it going to affect his lifestyle in any way, shape, or form? Look at Elon Musk. He just dropped a shit ton of billions of dollars to get 9-point-something% of Twitter to make a point, essentially.
Now, I want to bring this up. This is a little off topic, but I'm sure you guys have seen this. Have you guys seen the Texas governor is going to start paying to send buses of illegal aliens to Washington, D.C. to let them go.
Freaking awesome. Go for it.
He should send them all with a ghost gun.
That's all right. So wait. So like I'm all for.
God. The sex robot.
We got some aliens in our midst. We got some aliens, guys. We got aliens. Oh, there's plenty of other FUDs out there too, Stuart. You got the Yankee Marshal, don't like the guy, and apparently there's video out there of him saying to Antifa after he got stomped by Antifa members, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Man, it's cognitive dissonance, really. You spew that cognitive dissonance, I can't take you seriously. Well, how can I say this? I don't know. I'll just think of something.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what just happened, but your sex robot took over and was speaking for you. It was weird.
Anyway, I didn't do that. Anyway, so
It's really funny that these so-called, anti-big government people get together. There's 5 people in this live stream. I'm just listening to it. It's 5 of these people, including Brent0331, who talk so much that they're sick and tired of rich people, and they say, well, it's because they're privileged and they can do whatever they want with, they can just drop everything. I don't know. Joe Schmo from San Francisco, California wants to move to, I don't know, Helena, Montana, because he can afford it. But really, guys like Brent0331 has to be rich because he has how many subscribers? Over 450,000 subscribers. Over 470,000 subscribers to be exact. And they're complaining about these rich people, putting their money somewhere. God knows what. I don't know.
for term limits, but in lieu of term limits, I think Les is the only one that got that. Anyway, in lieu of term limits, I would accept that our Congress critters are in for life. I mean, they all think that they're Supreme Court judges. They're elected, and then they die in Congress 60 years later. So I think if we should take the wisdom of this suggestion that when you change residencies to a new state, you have to give X amount of years. I think if we're not going to have term limits, then new senators cannot vote for 10 years. As soon as they're elected, they've got a 10-year grace period where they're not allowed to pass any laws.
I got a better idea.
So there actually was a historic.
And there's the cognitive dissonance. Oh, well, if we're not going to have term limits, you got to compensate for somewhere. Like you just say to a senator, you can't vote for a certain bill. How does that solve the problem? That doesn't solve the problem. It's going to take something a lot more drastic than violence to solve this problem. All you guys are talking about is just, how you're sick and tired of rich people, but yet judging by, some of you get paid a lot of money, while people like me live paycheck to paycheck. Come on now. There's the cognitive dissonance.
Way that we used to do things, again, kind of like the taxation got taken from the states, and now it's the Fed, right? The election of states senators operating in the Fed was the same way. Your state house, Senate, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's what they meant too, Tom Reed. I think like that is idiotic in my opinion. That is really idiotic. It's kind of like a reaction live stream, NG, and Bay Area Badger. Like, oh my gosh. So you're creating another problem because you think it fixes the problem. No, like creating the problem as in telling the senators or whoever else, well, if you're not going to come up with any term limits in the Congress, the House, representatives, all that kind of stuff, well, you can't vote for 10 years. How does that solve the problem? That doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If anything, it creates more problems. Maybe it just creates a problem that leads to more problems. Come on now. Yeah, like keep Mitch and freaking Nancy Pelosi from voting. That'd be great. My gosh.
Your state senates would elect from amongst them who was going to go up to the Fed and represent the state. And I actually think that's probably a better way to do things than this whole democratic way. It'd be more of the republic way. I think as we devolve,
the republic way is always the better way, huh? Going back to the whole pick and choose the lesser of two evils, huh? Well, guess what? You're still picking and choosing evil. Pure and simple. You got to choose the lesser of two evils. No, I'd rather not choose at all, or choose option C, plan C. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be one of those evil doers, evil perpetuators, and all that. That's what you're doing when you pick and choose the lesser of two evils. You are perpetuating evil, pure and simple.
More from a republic to a democracy is when we start seeing these bigger issues come out. And I think if we just go back more to how the republic was formed and initially set to operate, we'd see a lot of these problems kind of go away.
No. You're talking out of your ass. You're talking out of your ass if you believe if you believe that the Republican way is the right way and should be enforced all the way till the end of time. No. The Republican Party is not like it was 20 years ago. By far. The Republican Party is not like it was 50 years ago. That's for sure. Man. Some people. Who are you talking about? Tom Reed, this clown wouldn't know a true republic if it landed on his face. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Brent0331?
Great idea would be to, whatever office you're going to, you've had to bid in that district for that period of time. You run for Congress, you've had to register to live in that district. You know, the most egregious example of this is Hillary Clinton goes to be a senator in New York, a state she had never lived in until she won her race.
Yeah, more restrictions. Okay. That'll solve problems. Whatever.
You know, should be, and If you're going to be a senator from New York, good. You have to have had residence and paid taxes in New York for 6 years, because that's the term.
Paying federal tax is enough to me. All this statism bullshit, nah, I'm not having it. I don't believe it. I don't believe in it. I personally don't like it. There's a reason why I'm a constitutionalist. Paying federal taxes is enough. Just paying $20 in federal taxes, you have a right to speak your mind as long as you paid those federal taxes. But then again, going back to what I said, that's a restriction, isn't it? That's the thing. More restrictions. That's all you all care about. See, you wonder why people like me say that the Republicans and the Democrats, they're two sides to two sides of the same coin. You really are two sides of the same coin. I tell you what, get rid of taxation. We'll figure out. We'll figure out real soon how things are going to get done, and see how the economy fares then.
Way's point here is a good one. So let's think about that for a minute. When's the last time Congress actually passed any anti-gun legislation? I don't know. It wasn't 1993 was done by Clinton, right? So I can't think of a time in my lifetime where that was really done. Maybe maybe under Reagan with the ban of machine gun manufacture. I believe that was passed through Congress and he signed it into law. So that's how far we had to go back. Most of these young whippersnappers here who aren't.
And guess who you voted for? Ronald Reagan. He got rid of the machine gun manufacturing. You voted for him, just like you voted for Dan Crenshaw. Oh, I got to do I'm Dan Crenshaw. I'm all for red flag laws. I'm all for red flag laws. Just don't make fun of me because I was a Navy SEAL. Like, that's fucking important. Big fucking deal. Quite honestly, this whole Navy SEAL bullshit, they're fucking arrogant. That's why I like the U.S. Army Green Berets better. Hell, even the U.S. Army Delta guys, they're more better than you, Navy SEAL douchebags. Once again, isn't paying federal taxes enough? Should that be enough? But people like me, taxation without representation is theft. But if all you care, these 5 people, man, that's all they want. They want their rights compromised. I'm going to send a link to this video for y'all. Well, live stream, sorry.
Boomers. They don't remember that time. And so all of the restrictions that have been passed during their lifetime has been through presidential executive action.
No. And bureaucrats. And bureaucrat. Right. But here's my point, and here's what I think his point is that the president has unchecked authority. Even though the president knows Congress must pass things to change these laws, he goes, I don't care. I got a pen. I'll do it anyway. And we talked about this in the beginning, but it is a good point.
And guess who failed to check the U.S. president on his authority? Who failed to keep the U.S. government in check? We, the people. Sorry, we the slaves is more like it. We failed to keep the U.S. government in check. But here we are once again. You're just trying to add on to more problems. Well, you got to be required to live in this state for a certain amount of time and all of that. But, oh, man, the cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah, Trump signed the bump stock ban to Tom Reed. Anyways.
Well, we talked about that. We did. And we also said the reality is that bureaucrats, unelected, faceless, often nameless bureaucrats, are wreaking havoc on our laws by just not writing law, just writing new policy as they see fit. So
and there's the thing, because Congress devolved it. Like when a president does something that says ATF, ban bump stocks, it's because all Congress wrote was this incredibly broad statement that says,
okay, I gotta redo that.
Bump stocks. It's because all Congress wrote was this.
We also said the reality is that bureaucrats, unelected, faceless, often nameless bureaucrats, are wreaking havoc on our laws by just not writing law, just writing new policy as they see fit. So
and there's the thing, because Congress devolved it. Like when a president does something that says ATF, ban bump stocks, it's because all Congress wrote was this incredible.
And guess which president wanted to ban bump stocks? And I'm guessing probably did. Who do you think who did that? Pegasus test, whatever. It was Donald J. Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump, who wanted bump stocks to be banned. The same guy after the Parkland shooting, well, we gotta take the guns first, worry about due process later. Get out of here with that bullshit, boy.
Incredibly broad statement says ATF can regulate firearms. It's that simple. So they're not breaking the law by having this policy. They have the laws backing to do it. Congress abdicated everything. Congress should be taking back laws. And if that was the case, things probably would have stopped in 1934 or 1968. But then look.
Doubt it. I doubt that one bit. I doubt it. Because there's always power-hungry cops. There's always power-hungry military personnel. There's always power-hungry politicians who's going to tell people what to do with their lives. And there's going to be private citizens who want the same thing as those power-hungry tyrants in law enforcement, military, and politics. I seriously doubt things will be different if the National Firearms Act of 1934 was enacted. I seriously doubt that, because sooner or later, someone's going to say, well, we got to, as they say, we got to end gun violence. You know, it's going to take something drastic. It's going to take something besides violence, a civil war, a rebellion, to resolve all this bullshit before it gets kinetic.
Talk about Reagan doing the last thing, banning machine guns, the Hughes Amendment. Yeah, passed in committee. Technically, no one voted on the Hughes Amendment. They decided what it is, then it went to reconciliation, and that's where it's got inserted. And after it was done, Hughes even had the chutzpah to deny, I didn't do that. Literally has his name on it. He said he didn't do it.
And that's something that some congressmen and women do complain about. They will every now and then bring up the fact that they've given up too much of their power to the president when they should have held on to that power. But it seems like they do that whenever the president that is in their party is in power, and it just continues to snowball. It never gets better.
And another problem with Congress is when you vote somebody out, you know who doesn't get voted out? The staffs. Yeah, a couple people might change when the new guy comes in, but those people that work on those congressional staffs are there regardless. If you're the first district of whatever state, doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican that wins, it's the same person there. And the new guy shows up, and the underlings go, "Oh, this is the way we always done things. You just sign here, you do this." I think that if somebody gets voted out of office, their entire staff is voted out. That would go a long way in fixing a lot of things.
Guys, we're at 15 till the 2-hour mark, so time has flown by. I want to start wrapping this up. I think it's been a good conversation. We've talked about a lot of stuff, and we've been high and to the right, high and to the left, and we've even sent some rounds into the berm at times. So let's go ahead and go around the horn. We'll start with Les, and final thoughts about our topic tonight. Anything you got going on your YouTube channel? Everybody here has their own respective YouTube channel, even the good Doc, Christopher Larson. Be sure to check him out. Very original name for that. So, but anyways, let's start with Les and wrap this up.
All right. So the governments have decided that unserialized firearms are a problem, specifically the kits by Polymer 80 and others.
And what the fuck you gonna do about it? Of course, absolutely nothing. You ain't gonna do anything. Nobody's going to rise up, and the problem's going to be dragged on and on and on. You all can bitch about the House of Representatives. You all can bitch about Congress and all that, but the end result is, and I've been saying this for a very long time now, power does what it wants. What part of that do you not understand? Oh my gosh. Capital was built with terms and not taxes.
The best defense against this, bug your politician. Can't say how much that'll do, but then go buy.
Well, if you can't say how much that will do, what good that will do, I mean, you're saying the same thing as guns and gadgets. Oh, we got it right to our representatives. Tell me something. How did that work out for CRS Firearms, Matt Hoover? He was recently arrested for having an auto key card. But yet, nobody said anything about Justin Irvin when he was arrested. Only a handful of people actually said something about him. I later found out what happened to Justin Irvin. Where's his GoFundMe fund? Where's his GoFundMe fund thingamajig? Like for CRS Firearms.
Buy one. Go buy a kit. Don't even have to build it if you don't want to. But the more popular it becomes, the more people that do it, the harder it will get for them to do anything about it.
So, common firearms right now in existence, such as AR-15s, are what you knew in the past is still going to be true tomorrow. But going forward, new designs is going to have more junk you're going to have to deal with. In the meantime, go to defcad.com, download my 3D printed AR-15 lower files available now, and go print you one.
You really think they're trying to go after ghost guns? That's what you believe? You really believe that they're trying to go after your AR-15s with 30 round magazines? They're trying to go after these. They're trying to go after your single shot rifles, your 22 LR caliber handguns, what have you, even your lever action 22 LR caliber lever action rifles. They're trying to go after lever action rifles. It doesn't matter if it's 44 Magnum, 45 Colt, 30-30, or 45-70 government. They're trying to go after your revolvers. Yeah. Not to mention shotguns.
Yeah, what Mike just said, that's good stuff, Mike. Thanks for clearing that up for us. And you guys go download those files because what is it that
It's oh, you killed me, dude. Oh yeah, how dare I show my peace? Oh, sorry. How dare you? Oh, you showed your peace. You showed your peace. Get out of here. You're probably pissed off because I'm actually allowed to own a farm. Maybe the mumbler is not pissed off. I mean, he's pissed off. Really, I think he is. The mumbler's pissed off because I can actually own a gun, but he can't. Batman, go get the mumbler and the gobbler. Tom, you're killing me.
they say information is power, something to that effect. That's the old leftist line. So go get that information and hold on to it. Well, you guys know where I stand on this. Like anything else, I'm a big Second Amendment guy. I would abolish almost all firearm laws tomorrow if I was king.
Almost all firearm laws. You would abolish. If I was a politician, if I had the power to do so, I would get rid of every gun law in the books. Be like, hey, NG, you want to own a tactical nuclear weapon? Have at it. If you want to have, hey, Tom Reed, if you want to have a 50 cal machine gun, have at it. You got that right. But of course, we already have that right. But of course, the government, they say, well, big brother, big government says, oh, you can't have these. I say bullshit.
But don't waste your vote and write me in. Vote for somebody that can actually have a chance of winning. And look, what is it that Obama said? Elections have consequences, guys. Elections have consequences. When Joe Biden takes the presidency, whether right or wrong, he's going to put things in place that are going to be anti-gun, anti-freedom, because that's what Democrats do. It's just that simple. So we have got to come up.
And that's what Republicans do too. Apparently, you don't know nothing about that story. Like you said, all of you five guys in your circle jerk, you said that Ronald Reagan signed a law that banned machine gun manufacturing and the Firearm Owners Protection Act of 1986. Let's not forget the Gun Control Act of 1968 and the National Firearms Act of 1934. And let's not leave this out, the Prohibition Amendment. Come on now, get real.
With a way to, one, win elections, and two, ensure that those elections that are won are counted correctly.
NG, I'm going to make myself another killdozer. By the way, I don't know. I know some people don't like Netflix, but I'm surprised Netflix has had this documentary called Tread. It talks about the story about Marvin Heemeyer. You know what I think the Patriots' problem is? I think they're pissed off because Marvin Heemeyer was actually had the balls to fight the government. Yeah, that's what I believe. No, they don't have the balls, NG. They don't. They don't have the balls. Oh, we're going to do something, guys, because Biden just announced more gun control laws. What the fuck are you going to do?
So that's the job before you right now. We're not at a point of going anything more than that. But let's push that forward and see where it goes. I mean, I'm expecting good things come the midterms, but we're still going to have old Joe as president, and old Joe has just shown he's not afraid to use his pen and circumvent Congress. So I would expect more of that, probably not less. Probably a more hostile president like we got of Obama, rather than one who is humbled when he loses Congress. So I don't expect better things for us in our future. And we've seen how Congress is coward to the president and willing to give up more and more of its power to the president. So although it's a good thing getting Republicans back into power in Congress and not having Democrats hold all.
Biden is a cuckold. Biden is basically he has other people telling him what to do with his job. Basically, he has other people telling him what to do because he's too old to actually do anything. Like really too old.
Three branches of government, I'm not so sure that the payoff is going to be quite what we want it to be, at least as gun owners.
Okay. We say governments are necessary evil. That's the quote, necessary evil. Well, what part of it is evil? And the part of it is evil is that governments genuinely believe, and when I say governments, I mean humans in government, be they elected officials, be they bureaucratic senior chiefs, be it paper pushers. Governments firmly believe that humans are just cattle. That they're not exactly anti-human because would you be anti-cattle? No. You get milk from cattle. You get meat from cattle. And humans produce the taxes.
Yeah, look what he's doing in the whole Ukraine and Russia war bullshit that's going on, Tom. Basically, like he's doing like a typical fucking Democrat president, like he wants to be the world's police. Like, he's just as bad as the mumbler. Oh, hi, mumbler. Still pissed off? You still got your panties in a twist because I owned your ass? We embarrass ourselves by not doing anything. Yes, we did, NG.
Humans produce the meat for their war grinder. So governments believe humans are cattle. So when cattle starts thinking and starts innovating, the government gets angry. They don't want you to think or innovate. You think this is just about bump stocks or ghost guns. Nope. Every aspect of your life, they do not want you to innovate. Yes, to and including, if you think I'm joking, look it up. Sex robots. There are actually bills put forward at state and federal level to outlaw sex robots. This comes down to freedom. This comes down to freedom. And the American government.
Wait. So you're saying that, oh, well, these people can't do, like, actual human beings, they can't do sex work, but you have a problem with the politicians outlawing sex robots? That's some hypocritical bullshit, Doc Larson. And if you didn't say that before, Well, that's the Republicans and Republican voters bullshit. Oh, we're not against we're not against people owning sex robots, but we're against people who do sex work. Those people got to, put food on the table too. They got to put some money in their bank accounts. They got to pay the bills too. Kind of bullshit is that? Oh, well, we're going to outlaw sex robots, but we don't like it when human beings do sex work, escort work and all that kind of stuff. Nobody seemed to care during the Wild West days of prostitution and all that. Man, my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. Huh.
Does not value your freedom.
And by the way, apparently in some states, oral sex is illegal. That's how bad the government wants to involve itself into your lives. They want to say to you, we're going to outlaw what we already outlawed, oral sex. I mean, me being a guy, I do love getting a blowjob. I mean, it's great and all. But you have a government, a tyrannical government saying, we're going to outlaw this gun. We're going to outlaw this innovation of a firearm part. Oh, we're going to outlaw sex robots. We're going to outlaw oral sex. Doesn't matter if you as a man, you go down on a woman, or you as a woman, you pretty much suck a guy's dick. We're going to outlaw oral sex. Well, guess what? There's some states who've already outlawed oral sex. So why in the blue hell are you not fighting the government right now?
And will intentionally, carefully, deliberately subvert your freedom. Elections have consequences.
All right, guys, it's been a
Yeah, elections have consequences, but so does cognitive dissonance. So does cognitive dissonance. Real freaking talk.
pretty lively conversation tonight, and if you've hung on there for 2 hours, I appreciate it. We've held about 200 viewers for the entirety of the night, and it's been a good conversation. Again, for the life of me, I don't understand how, a little over a year ago, the same party that was anti-police and law enforcement and defund police and, cheering on a bunch of rioters that were burning down buildings and killing people is now claiming, for the sake of crime prevention, doing away with these so-called ghost guns. Good law-abiding Americans having the ability that they've always had to develop their own firearms. So it's just a ploy, guys. The left has always hated firearms, the individual ownership of firearms, and we got to do our part to ensure that the right people get in the right places. I do have faith. We have a whole generation of GWAD veterans that are entering into politics. A good buddy of mine who I'm not going to reveal, served with in Iraq, who would later go on to become a Navy SEAL, is running for a Republican seat up in Minnesota. So hopefully I can link up with him soon. And you have that.
More Navy SEALs, just like ex-Navy SEALs, just like Dan Crenshaw, who's going to be a Republican in name only type. Just what we need. My gosh.
Quality of individual and character now starting to enter the political spectrum. So I do have hope for the country, guys. As I've already addressed earlier, we're seeing that demographic groups are starting to come to the right side. And I hope that trend carries on. They're starting to push off and pass off the BS that's came from the left that they've been trumpeting for years. And I hope that brings new light.
Says the guy who spews out a bunch of bullshit too. Just got to point that out there.
And hope for the Republican Party to turn that party into truly a party of the people that represents the Constitution. So as far as I have is coming down the pipe on my channel, we're going to continue to do live streams, guys. If you haven't noticed, we do the live stream every week. Also have I try to do an interviews with war fighters. I don't have one lined up yet for tomorrow, unless Doc wants to come on. I don't know if he's available for that, but trying to do those. And then I'm trying to also do a regular video, whether that be a camouflage effectiveness, a optic review, or a gear review piece, or an infantryman's guide piece. I try to do one of those once a week too. But I do work full time, guys. I do have a life and a family, and I can only handle so much. So, in any event, that is
damn all these influx of subscribers. Shoot. Well, I mean, it's. Let me tell you something, folks. I mean, got so many problems here. You have 5 people. Pegasus test, Brent0331, Doc Larson, and 2 other people saying that there should be, if there's not going to be any term limits, then we should have restrictions on politicians that they can't vote for 10 years. Well, that doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't. I keep saying this. Besides violence, it's going to take something that's going to be peaceful, revolutionary, to solve the bullshit that's happening right now. I don't know what Biden announced. I don't care. Why? Because I don't have these ghost guns. I mean, come on. I do believe you, as a free, well, let me rephrase that because we're technically not free. As a human being, that you have the basic human right to own weapons. Could be swords, firearms. I believe you have the basic right to own machine guns, nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, nuclear-powered submarines. I believe you have the right to own nuclear warheads. I don't want them. I don't like nuclear warheads. That's just me. I don't like them. There's a reason why. You, as a person, as a human being, you have a right to own a 50 BMG caliber sniper rifle. You realize what a 50 BMG caliber bullet can do? Has so much velocity, it will pretty much vaporize you. Seriously. 9mm can do much. Ain't gonna do much. We can talk about the calibers of 223, 5.56 all day long, but nothing comes. I'm pretty sure there's bigger caliber bullets out there, but from what I've heard and seen, a 50 BMG caliber, if I'm saying it right, got a lot of punch to it. A lot of punch to it. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going? All right, let me see something here. Let me see if I got that caliber right. 50 BMG. 50 BMG. Yeah, I got it right. Good God. That shit will vaporize your ass. Your boy Blue is right.
been our stream tonight. Does anybody have any saved rounds? I noticed nobody really talked about their YouTube channel. So if you guys have anything that's coming out soon, please take the time right now because we still have about 6 minutes to let us know.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, so I will say that my YouTube channel is going to go silent here probably for the next 4 weeks. Just put out the after action review. I actually have some videos already shot, but I work with my family to get the video editing, and One Shepherd is just going to absolutely dominate. Bravo Company is getting ready to kick off the spring semester out here in the DC area, and that's followed up just 4 weeks later with Alpha Company kicking off the summer semester. Guys, One Shepherd's got a lot of fun stuff that I'm not allowed to talk to about yet. That was good English, me likey words. Anyway, I'm not allowed to discuss with you yet. But I'm telling you, it's going to be another a bumper crop for One Shepherd this year. And I'm real excited to get this first semester out there. Okay.
So real quick on me, I've got I also have been sleeping for the last probably 4 months. That's just how my YouTube channel is. There's one thing I'll never be accused of, and that's spamming you with videos. Okay, guys, that's not my style. I'm slow to release anything, but I have hundreds of ideas in my head. But one thing that's actually happening, because I'm literally looking at it right now, it's laid out on my kitchen table for filming, is carrying a firearm on an aircraft.
You know what I'm about to do, Tom? You know that? You know what I'm about to do? Wait for it. I'm just waiting for your response. Gotta have common duties here. You gotta have common duties here. Common covers for mumbling. I'm talking mumbling. I have a problem with Red Reaper. Bring here peace. For those, I know I have some new subscribers. You're probably wondering what's up with the Rambler Scarface Owns video that I did. I did a live stream about this person. Well, I told the story. I put on, let's put all the cards on the table, right? I told the story about, how a woman interjected herself into a conversation that had nothing to do with her. Tom, you're killing me. Pretty much it was basically like that. Pretty much, Tom, you got it down. Blah, 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 your piece, blah, blah, blah. That's what he called my handgun. Your piece. So anyways, this guy, Scarface Owns, who I like to call the Mumbler or the Rambler or Scarlet Owns, he had a problem with me telling a woman who interjected herself into the conversation that had nothing to do with her. I told her to fuck off, and I didn't tell the full story in that live stream. Well, the story goes, so me and this man were talking on a public property, like public sidewalk. And while we were talking, I noticed that me and this man were just talking, and then we noticed a woman go somewhere and talk to 3 other people and pretty much cuss in front of everyone, including her child, and say, "Can you stop fucking cussing in front of my fucking child?" You realize that's hypocritical. That's hypocritical. But anyways, so then 10, 15 minutes later, the said woman came up to me and the man that I was talking to, and she goes, "Sir, can you stop cussing in front of my child?" I said, "Well, this conversation has nothing to do with you. Get the fuck out of here." And the Mumbler Rambler, Scarface owns or Scarlet owns, had a problem with that. He wants to be a feminist wannabe, a feminist ally. He's one of those white knights who gallivants around pretending to be a knight of yore or something like that, of that ilk. But regardless, that's done and over with. He hasn't did a video response to me. The Mumbler hasn't done a video response to me. So Scarface owns, go back to your circle jerk with your boyfriends, Johnny Goebel and the Gobbler and Derek Castle and Daniel Bishop. Go back to your circle jerk and boyfriends. It is what it is. Just remember, you started the bullshit. I finished it. I wasn't taxed all to hell with the new ammo I got. I got to get some more ammo, man. I need to get some more 9mm ammo. I don't mean to be like CRS Firearms, put my hat backwards, but you know, it is what it is. See what you, I'm just looking at some stuff on my dashboard. Got some comments. Go to comments. See what we got here. Well, that's why I need to. I need to be around with people like-minded. I wish I was in Colorado with you, NG. See, I wish Brastard, Tom Reed, and NG, we live near each other so we can form everybody, including Freedom Inc., all those guys. We form this community, guys and girls. It doesn't matter who. Form this community, all that kind of stuff, and then just come up with a plan when something, as they say, shit hits the fan, right? Now, once again, I don't have a problem with prepping. I see the importance of prepping, but there's a fine line between sensible prepping and fear-driven prepping that's driven by fear. I've actually got into bushcraft here lately. Yeah, you have a shit ton of ammo. You do. You said something about you got some spare 9mm ammunition. If it was going to be anywhere, it would probably be the Rockies. That's for damn sure. I would do some bushcraft in the Rocky Mountains. But I would have to have the equipment to do that first. see what else. All right, well, I'm going to cut this one short, and if I find someone else, I'm make sure to do another live stream, do my reaction to it, and that's that. I'm just going to leave this one up. I am. There you go, Stuart. You said something about pigs. I could go for some bacon right about now. Bacon. I love bacon. Well, thanks to Stuart, I'm hungry now. But I got to go. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Stay brutal, Reapers.